people around the world are very sensitive to the economy. In fact, the overall economy has influence on an individual's life. So even in recession, there are people who are doing great. Also, there are people who suffer during an economic boom. So those of you who came here today may hear the answer to why some families do well while some families don't do so well. After listening to this lecture, if you think that you won't use our products unless you do an Atomy business, and you think it's more profitable to continue using the toothpaste, shampoo, and cosmetics from where you used to buy it, if you think this way, then you shouldn't become an APPO. People who should become an APPO are those who are currently buying from a discount store, TV home shopping, or online shopping mall, but change their minds that Atomy products seem to be much better and cheaper. So even if I don't do the business, I think it's more profitable to use the products sold at Atomy. Only those who think like this should become an APPO. Those who don't think like this, they are just trying to make money off the products that they don't even use, and they won't succeed even if they start the business. Since people have a conscience, it's very difficult to make others buy products that you don't even use. So halfway through, they just give up. But regardless of the business, these products are so great that you can't resist using them. If you have this in mind, then recommending the product to others wouldn't be hard. Instead, it'll be a fun thing to do. Sales is not a difficult task. Really, sales is not so hard. Everyone, let's think about this. I went to a restaurant and it was clean. The food was delicious and cheap. Then, wouldn't you go tell others that, hey, you should visit that restaurant when you go to that town? Wouldn't you tell them? Good people will share the information. Bad people won't share it. Also, you watched a movie and it was amazing. Then you would go tell others to watch that movie. The cinema doesn't pay you to do it, but you still spread the news. The reason for this is because a person wants to share the information about something valuable. What does it mean to be valuable? When a product is of high quality and cheap, then it is valuable. So if you come across a valuable product, then you want to share it with others. When you try to make money by doing this business, most of you will only think about selling the products. But buying is the other half of the business. Buying. If you make a good purchase, then you are already halfway to success. For example, selling watermelons. Everyone's selling it for $7, but some people bought it for $4 while another bought it for $5. These two compete to sell. They lower the prices and so on. Who would be the winner? The person who bought the watermelons for $4 will win. So the competition was over as they were buying the products. You tend to keep thinking about selling the products, but you need to realize that you are actually buying the products. The concept is that you are buying from Atomy to sell to others. Of course, you aren't actually buying the products to sell it to others. Rather, it is a direct selling where you only act as a middleman to introduce Atomy to the customers. But the key point is that as a person who introduces the products to others, you need to have confidence that the products are good and cheap. If the products are of poor quality and more expensive than other companies, then it'll be really difficult to sell it. But good and cheap products will be sold smoothly, like the water flowing down a river. In network marketing, this is called a pipeline business. Unlike drawing water up with a bucket, the water will naturally flow through a pipeline once it's built. So, it will become a channel of distribution, And more pipelines will be built as more consumers join and profits will be generated from these pipelines. But there is one requirement for the water to start flowing. What it means is that the water only flows from a higher level to a lower level. What this means is that the product must always be better and cheaper than other companies for the water to continue flowing and to produce incentives. The pipelines may be built, but the prices are too high. Then how would the water flow? That's why many network marketing companies are called pipeline businesses, and they try to make as many pipelines and organizations as possible. But since no water flows through it, the business came to a halt and everything collapsed. Atomy has such a price structure that flows from the higher level to the lower level. If I explain this in more simple terms, Atomy decided to compete against general distribution companies, which is the first time in the world. That's why we aren't trying to compete against other network marketing companies. We'll compete with general distribution companies and win. So some of the products that we sell included products that are sold by general distribution companies. If the quality is good, we just sell it directly. For example, I was testing several toothbrushes, and one product stood out that made me think, oh, I can use this toothbrush for a lifetime. We went to the CEO and told him that we want to sell it for less than 1,000 Korean won. But he said, no, I can't do that. Why? Because Atomy has to pay allowances on top of it, right? I believe the allowance rate is 35%. So he said, no way. We can't supply it at that price. Either Atomy will have a deficit or we will have a deficit. So I made some suggestions to him. You currently have some funding issues in getting the raw materials, right? I'll pay cash in advance. Take this cash and buy with cash. Then the raw material price will be 10 or 20% lower, right? He nodded. Increase the number of cavity by modifying all the molds. And hang it on a big injection molding machine. Afterward, automate the lines to turn into an unmanned factory that runs for 24 hours. Then you should be able to meet the price. This is what I suggested, and now the factory currently operates like this. That's why we have a really good toothbrush at a really cheap price, and we can't buy a product of this quality anywhere at this price. Of course, there are toothbrushes that are only $1, right? But you can only use it once or twice, and it's so hard that you need to brush gently. Otherwise, your gums will bleed. So the quality of the toothbrushes is, in fact, very different. And it should improve your dental health too. Our product can be used several times and still remain strong. A great quality product at such a low price. It's being sold at a competitive price. In the case of cosmetics, they're being sold very cheaply. Some people say they can't use it because it's too cheap. People try it out, and it's better than any other luxury products. Then it will continue to get sold. There are people with luxurious faces that refuse to use cosmetics that cost only $11. But if you look at the pricing components of a cosmetic, most of it is to cover for advertising costs, store rent, packaging costs, etc. But this cosmetic is an absolutely amazing cosmetic. I started to negotiate the price by saying, it seems to be a good product. But is there a reason for it to be more expensive than juice? Please explain it. This is how I approached them. Sometimes it's a good strategy to act ignorant when approaching scientists and technicians. I heard it was made with plants, essence extracted from plants, so why is it more expensive than juice? Tell me why, explain it. Am I right or wrong? I'm correct, right? So, if you give me a production cost of 1 million sets per year, then I'll go and sell 1 million sets. But if you calculate the price for 10,000 sets per year, then I can only sell 10,000 sets. What will you do? No matter how expensive the products are, you won't be able to maintain this factory by selling 5,000 or 10,000 sets per year. So the price was lower by a huge margin. I lowered it mercilessly. As mass production became possible, Colmar B&H no longer has any deficit. That's why it's much more profitable for the public to continue to produce a really good product in batches and distribute it to the public. So Atomy's policy is to sell really good products at a cheap price. Employees of Colmar B&H and Atomy are doing their best to give more to all of you. The product concept of Atomy is mastige products. Mastige products. A mastige product is a product that is sold at a price that everyone can buy, but has the quality of a luxury good. It's a compound word where two words, mass, meaning the public, and prestige, meaning luxury good, are put together to create a new word, mastige. Let's say it together. Atomy's product concept is mastige. Atomy's product concept is mastige. It's a public luxury good strategy, so luxury goods shouldn't be exclusive to rich people only, but everyone should be able to use it. Instead, we thoroughly remove any price bubbles along the distribution chain, but the quality guarantees absolute quality. A quality that no other companies can follow. Also, the products are sold at absolute prices that no one else can sell at Atomy's prices. So, we're a company that sells a product with absolute quality at an absolute price. Atomy is trying to achieve an absolute goal in every respect. Absolute goal. A goal that no one else can go beyond. Atomy sets absolute goals for every goal. For example, I bought really good products cheaply from Colmar B&H through mass productions. But if there are additional costs arising within Atomy, then the overall product price has to go up. So, the cost must be minimalized when being distributed through Atomy. What would be the best thing to happen? It would have to be no cost at all, right? Turn every cost to zero. The goal is zero. In fact, it's human labor which is responsible for raising the costs. Human labor, so it's labor cost. So our goal is to create an unmanned company. Unmanned company. A company without anyone working inside it. So, am I going to fire every Atomy employee? They won't be fired. What I keep telling my employees is that work is not about continuously doing something. Real work is to get rid of work. Do you get this concept? So, don't just continue repeating the same process, but research ways to not do that work. For example, we need to tighten a screw. A screw. There is a person who tightens 10 screws per minute. Then someone else does it faster, 30 screws per minute. Then there's a professional, 1 screw per second, so 60 screws per minute. It's beyond human capacity to go any faster, but someone else does it faster. This person designed engineering plastics that fit well together, and screws are no longer needed. So, a person who gets rid of screw factories is the number one in tightening the screws. Is there someone who does it better or not? No, this is absolute goal, absolute goal. Atomy is working to reach a goal where no one else can do better. So, we make our employees stop working. Make them stop repeating the same process and instead research ways to get rid of that process. So we tell our employees, get rid of what you're doing. Find ways to not do that work. Anyone who doesn't do this, I'll get rid of you first. As a result, the cost was extremely reduced. So, what we're doing now is preparing to expand out to Southeast Asian and South American market. The number of people who are working to create this new business are far more than who are managing the ongoing businesses. This isn't something computers can do, right? Let the people do the creative work, and any other regular routine jobs will be done by computers. So, the work itself will continue to be compressed and compressed and compressed, which is how we'll work in the future. So the cost incurred by our company is compressed to 1/5 in some cases and 1/10 in some cases of general companies. It's called precise management. We are building a system where the cost is squeezed out and incurred to the minimal. So we can continue to sell you good products at a cheap price. Atomy is number one among the Korean companies. Actually, it's number one with 4 to 5 times more sales. We're moving forward with such a large gap. But some people say this: Atomy has fully grown, so it won't have any more opportunities. This is ridiculous. What I see is that we have only started. It's only natural that Atomy will be number one in Korea in the future. It's unbelievable that we weren't number one in the domestic market before. It's a given that we are number one in the domestic market, and we plan to go further to dominate the global market. The reason why I'm managing this company is because we have good products at a cheaper price than an ordinary market, and a solid concept to establish unmanned company operating through precise management. Our goal isn't to become number one among networking companies, but to become top in the whole distribution industry. So, we are selling products that people can't resist but to buy them. If we do this, Atomy will dominate the distribution industry. One of Atomy's management goals is to become a distribution hub. We'll control every part of distribution. So our goal is a bit simple and modest compared to what I want to achieve. Let's first make 75 million. Atomy's goal is 75 million. Even though the goal is 75 million, we don't think it'll be too difficult. Why? Customers who go to discount stores can come to us. The toothpaste is really cheap, right? This is a 200 gram of functional toothpaste, but it's only $2. People are going to discount stores because they don't know this. This toothpaste is much better and cheaper than functional toothpastes sold for $7 or $15 in pharmacies. Now, in the future, Atomy will not only deal with the products here. Atomy's original goal is to become a general shopping mall selling hundreds and thousands of various products. I established an online store that sold more than 100,000 products. You may wonder how you'll handle 100,000 products. You don't have to worry about that, as I'll be responsible for managing the products. You just have to buy these products. It's going to be much cheaper than any discount store. When I say that Atomy is going to dominate the global market, I'm not joking with you. You just have to do your business of informing others of Atomy products. I just want to tell you that Atomy's goal is to dominate the global market. So, it's just the beginning for Atomy. I wish every one of you here today will lead a successful life with Atomy, and I'll conclude my lecture. Thank you for listening. Thank you.